Hi, Deepa Rani Shekhar from Transform Life Programs. Love and Life. This video is about parenting. In my previous video, I had spoken about whether we allow choices to our children or make choices for them, presuming that we as parents know better. However, this video can individually be watched without being a sequel to the other one, but it would be better if you watch the other video as well. At the outset, let me tell you a story. This is retelling you the story of a Hindi movie called Amir. It's a beautiful movie, an artistic short movie. I love this movie for the message it delivers. It is about a young Indian doctor, an NRI, who comes from the UK. He comes here to India to meet his widowed mother, younger brother, and sister. Even as he gets off in the airport, his phone is stolen and it is bugged. And there is an MMS which shows that his mother and siblings are abducted. And the abductor wants the young doctor to plant a bomb in a bus. They don't get it straight, they don't tell him straight, but they keep telling him, you do as we say, or you're going to pay with the life of your mother and your brother and sister. So, as a young man, what choice does he have? But deep within his integrity doesn't allow him to agree to whatever the abductor says. As the movie progresses, in one of the calls with the abductor or whoever is the kingpin of terror operations across the world, specifically in India, the man at the other end tells the protagonist of this movie, Amir, his name is Amir, Amir, if you don't do something for the community, what is the purpose of your being? Just because you're well educated and you earn abroad doesn't mean you cannot give back something to your community. Who will think of the community? Kaum ke bare mein kaun sochega is what the man asks him. The words are so well etched in my mind. It really had a lasting impact on me as an individual, as a parent, as a daughter. So this man gives a phenomenal answer to this abductor. He says, if every son does his duty as a son, if every brother takes up his duty as a brother, there is no necessity for anybody to stand up for the society, do something for the society, to represent the societies, to demand for the society. There is no need at all, because society or the community will get nurtured by itself. So beautifully said. हर एक बेटा अपना फर्ज निभाएगा, हर एक भाई अपना फर्ज निभाएगा, तो कौम अपने आप सुधर जाएगा. किसी दूसरे को कौम के बारे में सोचने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं, is what he says, to put it exactly the way it is said. So, what a beautiful set of words. And if you're curious to know more about the movie, probably you can watch it over YouTube. I would want you to watch this movie for the way it is conveyed and how he is forced to indulge in terror, and how does he still hold up his integrity, how does he still hold up his dignity, is what I want you to watch through this movie. Now, coming back to parenting, why am I telling you this story, which you could term as communal, which you could term as terrorism or anti-terrorism? The point is, are we really giving this strong integrity, ethical values to our children as parents? That probably is the first and foremost duty for us as parents. Or are we just bothered about the marks they are going to take, the tuitions they are going to attend, the extracurricular activities, the trophies they are going to win, the job they are going to take up, the money they are going to earn, the house they are going to build, the car they are going to buy, the person they are going to marry in life, the children they are going to beget in life? Is this all we are thinking of? Or are we thinking of whether my child has solid values, whether my child can stand the test of time and hold the dignity and integrity up and high is something I would want you to ponder upon. So, how do we get there to give these phenomenal values, the most important values to our children? The first thing is, what matters is what we as parents do. Children do not listen, they are just watching. They're just watching. So if we are all the time on the phone and say, don't use gadgets, why would they even listen? Definitely not. Well, we might have the excuse, but I have a meeting, I have a thing. They also have their reasons. So we have to prioritize, set a time, and see that we walk the talk. What we do is what they're going to follow. They observe visually more than listening to what we are doing. So it is very, very important for us to maintain that dignity, for us to uphold our integrity, for us to be honest, for us to be truthful, and all that. Otherwise, we cannot expect it from our children. Or it would be like reprimanding a child. Why did you steal this pencil? No, I didn't steal it. It had just fallen down. I picked it up. No, but that is wrong. You cannot bring a pencil that is not yours. If you really want a pencil, you tell me. I will bring it from my office. So what are we actually teaching our children? When this Mr. X calls up, please tell him I am not at home. And the child is confused. The child says, Daddy says he's not at home. Silly boy, you made Daddy a liar. Tell me, friends, who made who a liar here? Did the child make the father a liar, or the father made the child a liar? Point to ponder. The second point is, loving your child is fine. It is the most important quality. You have to love your child, but you have to be stern at times. If your child who is a minor and still not strong enough to handle a bike, still doesn't have a learning license, has not taken the drive and is not confident, and you're not confident whether the child will drive. If the child wants to take the bike and drive, you got to be stern and say no. That's where putting your foot down matters. So know that this is how, whatever you're teaching them now is how they're going to live their life. Spend quality time with them. It's not that spending time is sitting together and watching TV. Talk to them. Know more about them. The more you talk and converse is when you will know about your children. So do that. And involve with your children. Spending quality time is involving with your children. Again, involving with a child doesn't mean that you do the homework for them and finish it quickly. No. Let them do it. That is a way of the teacher understanding where your child is standing. Do not associate your ego with that. To make it easy for the child, you do the projects, you do the homeworks, and give the false impression that your child is doing very well. Then when the child faces board exams, you're not going to be writing the exams for the child. Okay, so allow the child face the band now and buck up and get prepared to face whatever. Is it a remedial class? Is it doing something else or choosing something differently? Allow the child to go through this in the young age, because failures in the younger stage is much easier than later. And keep pace with the growth of your child. The child goes through a lot of emotional issues, hormonal issues. You cannot expect the child to be the same. For example, every child has resistance of its own. Anything the child picks up when it is a toddler goes into its mouth. The more you tell the child don't put it in the mouth, the child just doesn't care. And the child has resistance to getting potty trained. We did it, right? So also, as the child grows up, each stage there will be some resistance. There will be some secrecy, something they don't want to tell you, something they want to ask you but they cannot ask. That is the adolescent. Be calm and in allowance with them. Know that it's a challenging phase for them as well. Yeah, I understand it is challenging for the parent as well. But still, allow them to go ahead in their own phase. Allow them to blossom from the bud stage to the flower stage beautifully. Do not force open the bud. It doesn't serve the purpose. Still, have a set of disciplines. When it comes to safety, it is paramount you set standards where the child cannot transgress. You, at all points of time, you have to know where your child is, with whom your child is, what your child is doing. That doesn't mean be very inquisitive, keep checking their bags, keep checking their rooms. No, not that. Build a platform where your child can discuss anything with you, even if somebody from the opposite sex is hitting on them. If they're asking them out, have that platform and the space where your child can actually talk to you. Do not create a bubble where the child is scared to enter in and tell you. You should be the child's best friend where the child confides everything. So create that space. That space comes when you're not in judgment. The simplest thing a counselor does is sit at a space where there is no judgment. Hold the space without a judgment. That's all that matters. As a parent, don't go into the judgment of is it good or bad? Is it decent or dirty? Don't go into that space. Just listen to the child. When you first listen, then whatever you say, your child will be in a space to listen to you. Along with that, allow them to make their choices. Yeah, I'm not conflicting or contradicting what I said in my previous statement. It's a very thin line. How much of freedom you can allow the child, how much of choices you can allow. It's a very thin line. Know that thin line. Know what is allowed, what is not allowed. Negotiate it with your child. Be a very clever negotiator so that the child agrees to safety norms that you put. But do allow them their freedom. Do allow them to have fun. It's okay. It's okay for them to bunk a couple of classes, to be with their friends, to giggle all through night. It's okay. Just ensure that they are safe. And you got to be consistent in whatever you do. If you're doing it intermittently, one day you're very strict, one day you don't. One day you ask them, one day you don't ask them. It doesn't work. Maintain a consistency. Have a rule. You got to tell me when you're going out. You got to do this. You got to let me know where you are, what time you're coming back. When you set that as a rule from the young age, the child learns to adhere to whatever you are saying. And remember, never abuse or assault the child, either mentally, emotionally, or physically. It never helps anybody, neither the child nor the parent. At the same time, because you cannot abuse the child, do not abuse each other as spouse, or do not abuse your parents or siblings in front of the child or the in-laws. Respect everybody. See that you treat everyone in a nice manner. Be warm to everybody. That is very important. That is what your child is learning about social mannerisms. That is how your child is going to treat you when your child becomes an adult. And if there is some disagreement, talk and explain to the child. Again, talk dispassionately. Talk without any judgments so that the child feels that's a platform for discussion and it's not throwing your decision on the child. Always respect and honor your child. Believe the child when something is said. That doesn't mean blindly believe whatever is said. If you create this from the childhood, the child will be able to share with you without any frills what is happening in her or his life. So when it comes to sexual talks, be open about it. Like I said, you are the best friend your child has. If you do not give that space to talk about the doubts or curiosities, the inquisitiveness your child has about sexuality, they are going to talk anyway, they are going to look up the net anyway, and they are going to get partial knowledge which can be dangerous. So have that space where you talk to them without embarrassment. When you don't have embarrassment in talking, they will not have any embarrassment as well. The best gift you can give to your children is teach them to be good human beings. Teach them to be patriotic citizens. Teach them to feel honor and pride for themselves. And teach them to make you feel really proud and happy about your upbringing someday in their lives. So thank you for joining me. Hope this helped. Deepa Rani Shekhar from Transform Life Programs. Love and light.